So I hate to say this, but I think that Trump will win in 2020. Now, this is because he's using a playbook. And I think that it's the news needs to cover this. This is what is important. What the media needs to cover is how he is holding all these rallies. These rallies, that's the recipe to his success. Fear. Holding mass rallies where people lose they're not rational anymore. They don't think for themselves. It's this big groupthink that's going on. And they're hypnotized. Not literally. So then he poses as this tough guy that's gonna stand up to other countries. That is just, he goes off into this other man that people find relatable. Maybe not all people, but a lot of people do. And I think that it's going to be very, very hard for anyone to oppose them in 2020 and actually stand a chance. I think that Joe Biden and Beto O'Rourke together, Biden O'Rourke 2020, will probably pose the biggest threat to him. But I don't know if they can beat him. I think that they're the top two candidates that should go. And that Trump knows this. I don't think it's time for Warren. I don't think it's time for Booker. I don't think it's time for any of these new and up and coming people who wants to run and who mean well. But I just think it's Biden O'Rourke. And O'Rourke he's this charismatic figure. Biden's this stronghold name that can do so much. That can actually stand toe to toe in the debates. That can deliver fiery messages. And I think that that's the only way that we can beat him. But I think that it still would be a very, very close matchup in 2020. He's using Hitler's playbook. And I'm not saying that he is like Hitler, but he is using Hitler's playbook. There's this documentary called Hitler's A Career, in the way that he speaks to a public. He speaks to people, his approach, the way that he articulates, and he's learning as he is speaking, as he's going through these rallies. He's noticing different things. He's using different mannerisms. He looks at other very strong figures and observes them, and he reads the crowd well, just like Trump is doing. So Hitler's playbook then goes on to showing, building up the military, building up the cities, architecture. He was big into architecture, right? So now slowly, Trump is flirting with the idea of military parade, showing that military might. He's slowly moving towards that direction. And I think people are, what the news needs to be covering is how he's shifting into a very radical place that is dangerous for a lot of people, for the world. So I think what we need to do is we need to be very careful these next 2 years about how we cover Trump, about how we approach him, and about how we stand up to him. I think that we need to be careful about who we select, why we select them, and what the game plan is going to be to beat Trump in 2020. Because he's had a head start all these rallies, all the things that he is doing. I really encourage you to watch Hitler, A Career, and just see all the things that are just so similar between these two men and their approach. Now there's people who say he's like Hitler, there's people he's not like Hitler, and I'm right here. I don't know where I'm at, honestly. So I think what's important right now is to be careful. The media. I really want you to be careful about the way that you approach Donald Trump. I want you to be careful about the way that you speak to him. I want you to be careful about the way the leaders that you select. And the Republican Party, my message to you is you need to stand up. Stand up for what you believe in, because this man should not intimidate you as well. Some of these leaders are intimidated and they're following the playbook. 2020 is going to be real, but what leads up to it is what's going to be the most important, and it's going to be it's going to shape our future, our America, maybe a different America.